as promised, I have decided to put together the couple of videos of my house that I took with my new camcorder. I had no idea what I was doing. The sound quality was shocking. I think I've tried to fix that to a point where you can actually hear it. And for some reason, I seem to have filmed everything on extreme close-up, which I had no idea I was doing. So I'm going to put together one of them, which is the inside and outside of the house, the building itself, and go through what needs to be done with it. My husband says, talk less, show them more things. They won't turn off as quick, which I get because I'm really annoying. But also, I think probably I need to add some explanations if anybody's interested enough to look. So I'll show you the inside of my house on extreme close-up. It's like this. And then I'll talk about it afterwards. How's that sound? Sound like a deal? Okay, let's go. Right, there we go. I think we're recording. I'm not too sure about the sound quality on this, but I can always learn to do a voiceover. Okay, inside of the house first. So, this is like our Bulgarian porch. Zoom out? No, it zooms in. Yeah, it's just that little bit too small. I mean, I sit in here at this little table that I renovated. If you haven't got 15 of these tables in your barn, you're not even a Bulgarian. And I sit in here in the winter. It's a really nice little sun trap, but it isn't big enough for a couch or anything like that. So one day the dream is to have it extended a little bit over here. And then it'll be big enough to sit in. Obviously, you know, if we don't extend it, we're going to have to do something with it because it's all single glazing and steel and stuff. And from there, we've got the kitchen. And it's brand new, so it was put in 2022. It's a Praktika kitchen, just came, you know, standard units. But it's all right. It's a kitchen, does the job. Got 2 fridges, the normal fridge and Chris's little beer fridge that he bought last year. And then the bathroom is off the kitchen, so here we go. It's again all brand new, nicely tiled, nice shower unit, sink, loo. So that's that, yeah. So I think I assume the kitchen and the bathroom go together because you know, it's easy to plumb it that way. Then when this was a little Bulgarian house, it was 2 rooms, but the people who bought it before us, they had that knocked through into 1 through room. My little Pechka, that's my pride and joy, and I do use that in the winter. I cook on it and use the oven on it. Another one of these fabulous tables. And yeah, there's a few bits I want to do in here. I painted all the windows the first year we were here. We do love these double glazed windows. There's like the gap in between the 2 glasses. They are really effective. If we did have double glazing put in, I think the aim is to just replace the actual windows and keep the deep frames because they're lovely. But we might just try and restore them. They need some work on the outside, but they're so nice. And then you've got your other Pechka space here, so if we wanted to we could put one there, but we really don't need it. So in here we've got the AC unit as well, which doubles up as heating, so we can take our choice if we want to have a Pechka or just heat the room super quick with the AC. So yeah, that's nice. And that's the door I just opened. I want to move this couch back over to where the TV is and put my unit, which I'll show you in a minute, in this bit. So we go through then, and we've got a corridor. This is unrenovated. I will show you this in a moment. Beautiful brand new fuse box. It's all been rewired for us. And I call this the back door because it's where the bedrooms are, therefore it must be the back door. This is our spare bedroom. Which at the moment is just full of stuff. We got some stuff moved at the beginning of the year, someone had some space in a van. a chap called Dave, another Davey, lives near us. So this hasn't been touched apart from the wiring. This stuff is not wallpaper. It's like some kind of roller that they roll the pattern on with, which is cute. So I haven't done anything with this one. Back door there, as I call it, leads out onto the vines. Probably needs replacing because it's not in the best condition. But again, you know, I like the old stuff. I like trying to keep it. And this is our bedroom, which is kind of like halfway to being packed up, ready to roll. I've done the door, painted the door here, but I've not painted the windows yet. And again, they're these double ones. That one's open, which probably explains why it's a bit cold in here. They're not the most efficient. And this, if I just go backwards, this is my unit. Right, Chris hates this thing. And you can find them in most Bulgarian houses. And people enjoy upcycling them, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. But he said if he had any choice, he would take it outside and smash it up for kindling. But I love it. I think it's got real character. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint it, I'm going to move it into the front room. I'm going to paint it dark grey and then paint the drawers like a shocking pink. And somebody's already painted the inside of it blue, which is doing me a favour because that's a great colour. And you've got other people's stuff in here, which I absolutely love. So I think this is a milk dipper. And there's some old glasses and an old tea set. And then on this side, there's the rest of that tea set. That's broken, unfortunately. And this little set, like this pottery is super popular in Bulgaria. Everybody's got it. And look, it's got a little set of like little drinking cups. I assume it's a rakia set. It's just gorgeous. So I'm thinking if I take the glass out, clean it all up inside, display these beautiful bits of other people's stuff. Chris calls it tat. I say it's got character. And then just use the rest of it because there's a couple of shelves in there that could be put on. And then there's all this space down here and use it as a bookcase because all my books are currently in bags. And the rest of the furniture is just horrible modern stuff from EM Design because, you know, we needed something to sleep on and somewhere to put our clothes. Yeah, so that's that. It's only a small house, but we're only, you know, just the two of us. We don't need any more than that. And then this room hasn't been touched. So this is what the whole place must have looked like before it got renovated. So mud floor, stone walls, and this ceiling. Now, I like this room, and it's not big enough to be a bedroom. It's just not wide enough. And I was thinking it could be like a cellar, a storeroom, because, you know, I make a lot of jam and chutney and things like that. Or, just to keep me out of Chris's way, yes, it needs some replastering. It's not in any danger of falling down, but it does need redoing. I could put my, like, I could put a desk and a chair in here, and I could just use it as an office to do my exam marking. Because there's a Pechka hole just there. So, in theory, I could put a little heater in here, a smaller one, and I could just sit here, snug as a bug, and do my work. And I really like it. Obviously, the cracks need fixing. I think this is quite sweet, this kind of cracking thing. Reminds me of Doctor Who. There's cracking time across the wall here. I don't mind it. I wouldn't mind keeping it. And it will be quite hard to plaster over. And look how thick the windowsills are. You can see the thickness of these old houses. It's just absolutely glorious. But yeah, there's a lot of cracks in this room. They're not life-threatening, but they do need dealing with. And that's the inside of the house. That's it. That is it. That is our home. So we've still got loads and loads, excuse me, I'm talking to a blank wall. Loads to do, you know, the spare bedroom needs fixing, the internal doors and everything all need painting, maybe replacing when it comes to things like this, which, you know, this isn't character, this is just an old plywood door. We need light fittings. We haven't got any light fittings yet, we've just got bare bulbs. But yeah, we've made a start. And these things, you find treasure troves in Bulgarian houses. All these blankets and throwovers I found in the garage last year and gave them a bloody good wash. And I use them, I cover my couches with them at various times a year. I've just not done it this week because Chris was here and got sat down straight away. So yeah, I think if I move this couch where the telly is, the telly can go over there, and then I've got that space there next to the dining table where I can put my beautiful, beautiful bookcase once I've restored it. So that's it, that's our house.
Yes, I've just watched that back, and frankly, I'm so sorry for the quality of the recording. I'm just not very good at it. I'll learn, I'm sure, and I'll get to grips with things like fast forwarding. I've scratched my head again. Fast forwarding the boring bits and such like. So yeah, we bought the house in 2022. And I know we're not like a lot of people on YouTube who bought something completely derelict that needed totally renovating, but there is still work to do on it. So we paid just under 13,000 in English pounds for it, which I don't think is bad at all, given that the majority of the big work had been done, as in the kitchen was in, the bathroom was in, and, it had all been, the electric had been done, there was a new septic pit had been dug, all the plumbing had been updated, and some of the walls had been renovated. So we paid for that, including we bought tiling for the corridor and the 2 back bedrooms, and we paid Stefan, the local plasterer, tiler chap, who's very, very good, to do that. So when we arrived in 2022, it was August, and we were just there for like 2 weeks, and it was in the 30s every single day, and we were like painting and decorating and sanding down windows, and frankly, it was an absolutely insane thing to do. The times we've been there since then, I've either been on my own, and I am very, very quick to go, oh my, this work is beyond me. I will go for a day out instead. Or we've been at Easter when we got quite a lot done. But as soon as the sun's shining and it's not too hot, we tend to dive outside. So inside jobs are things that we still need to do. The Pechka was really important to us. And we, as soon as I saw that one with the oven and the hot plate on the top, I thought, yeah, I know that's the one that Chris is going to want. Davey took me to Levski to buy that, to choose one. And actually, having 2 methods of heat and power is really important. The power doesn't go out very often in our village. It's a very well-maintained village, but it can go out, especially after a big storm. And having the Pechka is invaluable if that happens, because A, we're not going to freeze to death. We can sleep in there if we need to, if the power's out for a while. And B, we've got somewhere we can cook. But by the same token, we've also got the 2 AC units. We've got one in the front room and one in our bedroom, which means that if we don't want to, get a fire going and keep it going all day, we just need a quick blast of heat. We can use the AC to do that. So I think having the best of the modern and the traditional is a really good idea there. And just always keep a few bottles of water around, because if your water goes off, you really are stuffed. So the smallest room, that little spare room with the Doctor Who style cracking time in it, that's the biggest thing that we've still got to do, because that's completely unrenovated. But me being me, I think it's got a certain charm to it, and I want it renovating minimally rather than completely modernising. And I think we've tried to keep some of the traditional aspects of the house, even though it is modernised to a big extent. And I don't think there's anything wrong with living in a modern house with modern amenities, to be honest. You don't have to live like it's the early 20th century just because you bought a house in Bulgaria. Mostly, apart from that, we just need to do a bit of decorating and such like. We found some treasure, but we did get the house. The house had been largely cleared by the previous owners, and we got the last bit of clearing stuff out, so we didn't get enough treasure. Now, for me, I would have been quite happy to spend hours sifting through the piles of stuff that was still there, but Chris really wanted somewhere. He was like, I just want to go on holiday, darling. I don't want to spend my time, trawling through someone else's junk. Trawling through someone else's junk is my idea of a really good time, and I had to fight to keep that unit. He wanted that junk in as well, but I think it's beautiful. I think it's fabulous, and I think it'll make a really quirky little bookshelf. We found those rugs and some quilts and covers and things like that, which are lovely. All the tables, there are so many tables in the average Bulgarian house and barn. And when we bought the house and we'd said to Davey, yeah, just clear it, just save these few bits and bobs. I got home, and about 3 weeks later, I messaged Davey and said, Davey, I didn't tell you to save the coat stand. And he laughed and he said, oh, I knew you'd want it. I've kept it for you. And we do hang our coats and bags on it, so it's really useful. So, yeah, I think those are jobs that we'll do a bit at a time. Our instinct is to try and do it all at once, but it's not going to work. You've got to take time with it. And you've got to accept that if it's 37 degrees outside, maybe you should just hunker down. I don't put the TV on very often, but that would be a good occasion to do so, or just float around in a giant paddling pool. Don't do what we did the first year and try and work really hard. So the inside of the house is fairly straightforward. The outside does need some more actual attention in terms of making sure that it's sound and it stays sound. So I'll show you the outside now.
Oh, it actually started first time that time. That makes a nice change. So if we come outside around the house, I don't know what this is. In my brain says it wants to be somewhere where one puts a goat. I very much doubt it is somewhere where one puts a goat, but I have visions of, like, you can lift this bit. You could once upon a time, it's a bit broken now. You can put your goat's head through it. We've got the outside sink. Yesterday we were at Colin and Susanna's, and they've used their outside sink as a gigantic planter, which is a lovely idea. But we do actually use ours as a sink all the time, so it's not going to work out for us. And then you've got our grapevines here. We do have rather a lot of grapes, but we like that. Still got seed potatoes I've got to put in. And yeah, the outside. So like I said, we really like these windows. We love the double skinned, like double glazed Bulgarian windows, but you can see they're absolutely knackered. So, I mean, the wood is still fairly solid. It's not got damp or wood rot or anything like that. But to fix it, I think is a bigger job than Chris imagines, because all that paint is going to have to be scraped off, and some of it's stuck quite fast. And then it's going to need to be, treated, primed, undercoated and replaced. And the same, this one, Davey helped us put a fly screen on a couple of them first summer we were here, just so we could open them in the night time and get some air through the house. But yeah, it needs rendering and it needs painting. Some of the render's been done, but there's still bits that need doing. It's just like an endless list of jobs. So up there, the soffits are fairly sound in most part of the house, but they definitely need replacing there. These holes in the walls to go up to the loft, they're like a natural cooling system, so they get the air through in the summer, but they are supposed to have glass or perspex in them, so you can close them in the winter to keep your insulation in, and ours just don't have that. So yeah, that window's like, that fly screen is from the previous occupants, absolutely buggered. And that's the hallway. And then you've got, I broke the boot scraper yesterday, scraping my boots. As you come around here, again, the windows are knackered. The door, I decided to learn to sand a couple of years ago. It didn't go well. I lost my temper. Chris could hear me having a hissy fit from like 2,000 miles away. But look, the house was built in 1941. Isn't that lovely? It's pre-Soviet. And we have got nice modern security lights outside as well, which is good. Then, again, Here you can see where it's been patched up here. You know, you're not going to get a palace for a few grand, are you? That's our bedroom. AC unit in the bedroom as well. Bloody invaluable. And a telegraph pole right in the middle of where I want my my veg garden. So yeah, the outside of the house still needs a bit of work. Still needs some stuff doing to it. That's the spare bedroom I've just shown you. And that's the old electric unit, you know, the old electric meter that's been taken out. And as always, there's loads of bricks and things and slates hanging around, but you know, that bit needs re-rendering and fixing, where the bathroom is. But you know, it's not gone anywhere since 1941, this house. It ain't going anywhere anytime soon. And we did get new chimneys all plastered and put on, and new cowls put on, so the roof is sound. And you know, people will say to you, you need a good roof, always get your roof done first. So yeah, that's the house. Loads of jobs to do, loads of stuff still to do. Rendering, painting, plastering, flooring in that spare bedroom. It doesn't really interest me that much because I prefer the great outdoors, but they're jobs for autumn and winter when it's too cold to be out here. And then I'll go back to where I started. I'll take you from my plans for the garden and show you Chris's workshop. I'm believing when we come back in July, this will all be so green and there'll be grapes everywhere. Oh, this is just the start of the year. It's nice and peaceful at the moment because Chris has gone to Pleven with George to replace a tyre on the hire car.
Trying to work out how on earth I'm supposed to look like a human being instead of John Major with this camera. Yeah, so I think I'll leave the workshop and the garden till next week because it'll give me something to keep my Sunday busy. So you can probably see the outside. It needs more care because, you know, outsides of buildings need more maintenance. There are some cracks. There's one that I really notice in that little tiny spare bedroom or spare room. There's a crack running right down from the windowsill, and you can see it outside as well. It's not going to fall down. The house is not, you know, going to suddenly collapse because of a few cracks like that. But it is something you always need to be aware of. Bulgaria is on a fault line for earthquakes, and they don't often do massive damage. But I think in the 1970s there was one that brought a few apartment blocks down in Svistov. So, you know, the house will have felt those. I know I think it was last February 23, I was there, and isn't it weird what stupid things you do? I was in the kitchen and I thought, why is the porch shaking? And I went out to the porch, and this gigantic dog, we call him Mournful Dog, I've not seen him this year. He was in my garden, and this totally illogical part of my brain went, oh, the porch is shaking because Mournful Dog is in the garden. And a few minutes later I thought, dogs don't make porches shake. Anyway, I happened to log into trusty Facebook, and half of Bulgaria was going, did everyone else feel that? But I was probably the only person in the village who I spoke to who actually felt it. But, you know, they do happen. Obviously the house, there's some plastering needs doing. It needs to be rendered, and we need to paint it. I'm thinking if we paint it a nice shiny white with green Bulgarian green windows, it'll look great. With the windows, it's very much finding a compromise, I think, because we do, like I said in the first video, we do really love the old-fashioned Bulgarian double glazing. But you can see from those windows, you know, on the inside, they really just needed a quick sand down and repainting. On the outside, there's a lot to do if we want to save them. And I did try sanding down the door last year, and it was an absolute disaster. It was, so, you know, there's layers and layers of paint going back 60 years on there. So I know Chris loves them. I love them too. But if we can't get them back to the wood, because obviously some of the paint's completely off, but some is glued fast. We might look at the kind of half and half, because when you have double glazing put in Bulgaria, they just rip your windows out, slam the double glazing in, and then they just squirt that horrible fill-in foam around it, and it looks bloody awful. But you can have them done so that you keep the frame of your window inside and out, and you just have the actual window itself put in. And they all do come with fly screen, which is great, because fly screen is absolutely essential. You are not going to get to open your windows between April and October without it, because you're going to get bitten to death. You can see we've got trees growing in really random places, like there is literally a tree invading the back doorstep, which is going to have to come down. And we still need to smooth all those paths out. James and Tina have been treating them with weed killer so we can actually see them these days, but they still probably need smoothing out so that we're not walking wonky all the time. The porch, you could probably see from the outside, you know, we've just Nicky botched job. Just slap some paint on it instead of actually dealing with the fact it was peeling. Same with the front gates. Magda came by the other day and she said, you know, she was telling us what a good job we'd done on the fence. And she just said, yeah, paint your gate next, which I think is a wise idea, because it makes it look like somebody owns it. And I don't see any point in replacing them. We can just paint them. But we need to sand them down first. Same with the outdoor sink. Same with the posts of the grapevines. All sorts of things just need sanding down and painting. And I did say in the video, my roof is sound. So that is something, you know, I used to watch this guy called Vess. He has an estate agents called Ideal Homes, I think, in VT. And he always used to say, good roof, good roof. And the roof is really important. So the first year we were there, we noticed the chimneys were wonky. And we said to Davey, have a look at those. And he went, oh, God, yeah. And we got Stefan round, and, you know, he's absolutely beautiful the way he's plastered them over and put the new cowls on them. So now they're really, really secure. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot more to do outside than inside. I'll show you my garden again. I'm so proud. I love my garden so much. I'll show you my garden again next week and what we're planning to do with that. I hope you weren't too bored. I'm going to stick at the end of this, if I can, every single time I've shut this video off and sworn profusely. And a photo just to prove that I don't look like John Major. It's just the video camera. But in the meantime, enjoy your Sunday. Have a great week. Peace out. Hello. As promised, I have decided to... Oh, fuck it. Okay, this is attempt number 3. Speaking to this camera sometimes makes me feel like such a fool. I have put together... Oh, why do I always scratch my head as soon as I start? You know, I bloody hate this video camera. I hate it. Honestly, I take a selfie. I'm like, yeah, looking all right. Turn the video camera on. It's like, hi, I'm your paws. We'd really like to make our presence felt. I don't know. I don't know why these things happen. Anyway, like I say, I am sorry for the quality of the camera work. I think, you know, I'm just not very good at this. I'm going to spend this next few weeks, when my ankle's healed from its overwork in Bulgaria, just wandering around Baku with a video camera, working out how to do it best and working out how to use this editing software that I found online and all the rest of it. But yeah, so that's our house. Like I've said before, it's, oh, fuck it, one sniff, cough, bull. Yeah, so I think I'll leave the workshop and the... Oh, why don't you just go like this with the camera, Nicola?